All right, today we're jumping into something that's got everyone talking. It's what I'm calling the electric vehicle paradox. You hear it everywhere, right? Electric cars are our clean, green ticket to the future. But is it really that simple? I mean, are we just swapping one set of problems for a totally different, maybe even hidden one? That's what we're going to dig into today. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first. To really get why electric cars even became a thing, we've got to look back at the problem they were designed to solve. And it's a really obvious one, something we've been living with for over 100 years.
Yeah, it's the one you can literally see and smell every single day. You know, the good old gas-powered car. It's got that internal combustion engine, it burns fuel, and all that burning creates exhaust, that smoke pouring out of the tailpipe right into the air, right?
So, what's in that smoke anyway? Well, it's basically a nasty cocktail of stuff we really don't want to be breathing. You've got carbon dioxide, the big one for climate change. Then there are nitrogen oxides and these tiny little particles that create smog and can mess with our lungs. This right here, this is the obvious villain that got everyone looking for a hero. And right on cue, a hero appears. Or so it seemed. It showed up in this sleek, silent package, the electric car. And it was sold to us as the ultimate clean alternative, the thing that would finally, once and for all, get rid of those dirty tailpipe emissions.
And look, when they're actually on the road, the difference is night and day. It's undeniable. You've got the gas car puffing out smoke, and then the electric car, nothing. Zero tailpipe emissions while you're driving. I mean, if you're thinking about the air quality in our cities, that sounds like a total game changer, right? A perfect win.
But, and this is a big but, this is where the plot thickens. A car with no tailpipe is awesome, sure, but it doesn't run on magic. It still needs power to go. So the real question, the one we have to ask is, where is that power coming from? And when you ask that question, it points you straight to the heart of the EV, the battery. And this, folks, is where the hidden story is. It's the part of the environmental cost that you can't see, unlike that big cloud of smoke from a gas car. So if you look at the entire life of an EV battery, it's kind of got three acts. First, you've got the mining. To build these things, you need metals like lithium and cobalt, and getting them out of the ground can be a really messy business. Then you have to actually make the battery, which takes a ton of energy, and a lot of that energy still comes from burning fossil fuels. And then finally, what do you do with it when it's dead? That's the big cliffhanger. What happens when millions and millions of these batteries just stop working? Because when they do die, they basically become toxic waste. Seriously, this isn't like recycling a soda can. These batteries are full of heavy metals and some pretty nasty chemicals. If you don't handle them just right, all that stuff can leak out and create a huge contamination problem. And that risk gets way, way higher in countries that just don't have the fancy recycling plants to deal with them. So what happens? They get dumped illegally. Those toxic chemicals then ooze into the ground, into the rivers, and from there it's a straight line into the food chain. That means it can end up harming not just wildlife, but people too. And this, right here, is the core of the paradox. Think about it. We can tackle air pollution with new rules, better filters, cleaner gas. But cleaning up poisoned soil or a contaminated river, that is a whole different ballgame. It can be incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible. So we're trading a visible problem for a hidden one that could stick around for a very, very long time. So you see, this isn't a simple good guy versus bad guy story. To really get what's going on, we have to zoom out and look at the whole picture. All the pros and cons, all the trade-offs. This chart really breaks it down nicely. Let's walk through it. Air pollution in cities? Yeah, the EV wins, hands down, no contest. But global warming, that's more complicated. We know gas cars have a huge CO2 impact. For EVs, it's a big it depends, because where is that electricity coming from? Coal plants or wind farms? Then you've got this totally new problem, battery pollution. For a gas car, it's not even a factor. For an EV, it's a huge potential weakness. And we haven't even touched on the obvious stuff yet, like gas stations versus charging stations or the upfront cost. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. The choice isn't really between dirty and clean. It's a choice between different kinds of environmental impact. Are you more worried about the smoke you can see coming out of a tailpipe or the toxic waste you can't see seeping into the ground? You know, what this whole thing really teaches us is that whenever some new, shiny technology comes along, we have to look past the marketing hype. We need to get better at asking smarter questions about the entire life cycle from start to finish. So, what are those smarter questions? Well, instead of just taking the ads at face value, we should be asking things like, hey, where did the materials for this battery actually come from? Is there a real, solid plan to recycle it when it dies? Is the electricity that's powering this thing coming from a green source or a dirty one? And maybe the biggest question of all, what's the plan for the millions of these batteries that are all going to need to be dealt with down the road? When it comes right down to it, it's all about one simple, powerful truth. There's no such thing as a magic bullet. No technology is perfect. Think about it. The steam engine, the internet, your smartphone, every single invention has trade-offs. And it's our job to understand what we're really signing up for. Which brings me to my last question for you. The story of a car, any car, is so much bigger than just the metal box you see on the road. It's a huge global story about mining and energy and what we do with our waste. So the next time you see a brand new car drive by, are you just going to see what's on the surface? Or are you going to see the much, much bigger story behind it?